This is Mr. Eugene, and today we're talking about one of the most profound injustices in modern dating that nobody wants to name directly. The asymmetry that destroys marriages before they even begin. The reality that makes good men walk away from relationships that look acceptable on paper but feel wrong at a fundamental level. Here's the pattern. A woman in her late 30s is finally ready for commitment. She's done exploring, done experimenting, done chasing excitement. She wants stability now. She wants a good man. She wants marriage and family before the window closes completely. She meets you. Decent guy, stable work, good character, financially responsible, emotionally mature, the kind of man who would make a solid husband and father, the kind of man she ignored completely in her 20s because you weren't exciting enough. And now she's interested. She's available. She's talking about how much she values reliability and character, how she finally understands what really matters, how she's ready to build something real. But here's what she's not telling you. Here's what she's hoping you'll never realize or never have the courage to confront. She gave her best years to men who didn't commit to her. She gave her youth, her enthusiasm, her physical peak, her sexual freedom, her adaptability, her optimism to men who never married her, men who never even considered marrying her, men who got everything she had to offer and walked away when they were done. And now she's offering you what's left at 37 or 38, with fading appearance, accumulated damage, intimacy, dysfunction, inflexible demands, and a catalog of things she refuses to do that she absolutely did for previous partners. She's expecting you to provide far greater commitment, far more resources, far more tolerance than any man before you provided, while receiving far less than what those men received freely, and she expects you to be grateful. Grateful she finally chose you. Grateful she's willing to settle for you now that the men she actually wanted won't commit to her. This is the reality destroying modern marriages. And most men don't see it clearly until they're already trapped. Stay with me. This goes deeper and darker than most people want to admit. The asymmetry. What they got vis what you get, let me lay out exactly what the men before you received and what you're being offered. Because until you see the contrast clearly, you won't understand why this feels so fundamentally wrong. What previous men received youth, they got her at 22, 24, 26. Peak physical appearance, firm body, bright eyes, energy, enthusiasm. The version of her that turned heads, the version that made men compete for her attention, you're getting her at 37. Aging, weight gain, tired eyes, lower energy, the version that's past her physical peak and declining visibly. They got the years that matter most physically, you get the decline. Sexual enthusiasm, they got genuine desire, passion, excitement, willingness to try things, eagerness to please, spontaneity, multiple times weekly, sometimes daily, sex that felt like she wanted it as much as they did. She initiated regularly. She was adventurous. She made them feel incredibly desired. The physical chemistry was intense. That's what they experienced. You're getting duty sex, monthly if you're lucky. She's never in the mood. Always too tired. Always has reasons. When it happens, it's clearly obligatory. She wants it over quickly. No enthusiasm, no desire, no effort to make it good for you. She never initiates. You're always the one asking, and most of the time when you do, she rejects you. Makes you feel like you're imposing for wanting physical connection with your own wife. They got eager, enthusiastic, frequent intimacy. You get reluctant, obligatory, rare intimacy. Emotional availability, they got her emotional best. Optimistic, hopeful, open, trusting, believing in love and connection. No walls built yet, no damage accumulated yet, no cynicism developed yet. She was emotionally available, vulnerable, willing to invest deeply, believing relationships could work, willing to try. You're getting emotional damage, walls built from years of failed relationships, cynicism about men and relationships, trust issues, attachment problems. The accumulated psychological cost of years of rotating partners, she's guarded, defended, unable to be truly vulnerable, expecting failure. Already halfway out the door emotionally. They got emotional freshness and availability. You get emotional damage and walls. Flexibility, they got adaptability. Willingness to compromise. Openness to new experiences. Willingness to adjust her life to fit with theirs. Excitement about building something together. She was flexible about plans, about lifestyle, about where to live, about what to do, about how to spend time. She went with the flow, made things easy. You're getting inflexibility, fixed expectations, demands about how things must be, unwillingness to compromise, unwillingness to adjust. This is how she lives, and you need to fit into it. She has requirements now, standards, things that are non-negotiable. The flexibility she showed them is gone. They got adaptability and willingness to build together. You get rigid demands and expectations. Freedom from demands. They got her with minimal expectations. No pressure about commitment, no timelines, no biological clock urgency, no demands about marriage or children, just enjoying each other without agenda. They could take their time, explore the connection, see where it goes. No pressure, no urgency, just being together. You're getting immediate pressure, commitment demands, timeline urgency, biological clock panic, pressure about exclusivity, about defining the relationship, about marriage, about children, all happening fast. She needs you locked down, legally bound, committed, before you have time to see clearly what you're actually getting. They got freedom from demands. You get constant pressure and urgency, her best self. They got the performance version of her, the version trying to attract and keep them, the version putting in maximum effort. Being pleasant, being agreeable, being fun, being the woman men want to be around. She was making effort, maintaining herself, being positive, creating good experiences, being someone worth spending time with. You're getting the real version. The version that stopped trying once commitment is secured, critical, complaining, difficult, unpleasant. The version she actually is when not performing. You're getting the woman she becomes when she's no longer trying to attract, when she has you locked in. They got her performing at her best. You get her actual self at her worst. What you're expected to provide. Now let me show you what you're expected to give in exchange for these leftovers. Because the asymmetry isn't just about what you receive, it's about what you're required to provide. Total commitment, they provided zero commitment. No promises, no exclusivity, often no plans for the future. They were just enjoying what she was offering freely. If they wanted to leave, they left, no consequences. No obligations, no responsibilities. They owed her nothing and provided nothing beyond temporary attention. You're expected to provide complete commitment, marriage, legal binding, lifetime promises. Till death do us part, total exclusivity. Complete fidelity. You're locked in legally, financially, socially. If you leave, you lose half your assets, you pay alimony, you lose daily access to your children if you have them. They provided zero commitment and could leave freely. You're expected to provide total commitment and will be destroyed if you leave. Maximum resources. They provided minimal resources, maybe paid for dates, maybe bought gifts occasionally, but no major financial commitment, no shared expenses, no supporting her lifestyle. Their money was theirs. They spent it as they wanted. She expected little financially beyond basic dating expenses. You're expected to provide maximum resources, support her lifestyle, pay the mortgage or rent, cover the bills, fund vacations, build wealth that becomes ours, meaning hers in divorce. Support her desires and demands. Your money becomes shared money that she has equal claim to despite earning less or nothing. Your financial life becomes structured around supporting her. They provided minimal resources and kept financial independence. You're expected to provide maximum resources and share everything you earn. Infinite patience. They provided zero patience. If she was difficult, they left. If she created drama, they walked away. If she wasn't worth the effort, they moved on. She got the message quickly. Be pleasant or be replaced. So she was pleasant, made effort, kept things easy, avoided being difficult. You're expected to provide infinite patience with her moods, her difficulty, her criticism, her demands, her past trauma, her psychological issues, her inability to be happy. You're supposed to work through it. Be understanding. Be patient. Give her space to heal. Accept her as she is. Never get frustrated. Never lose patience. They provided zero patience and she adjusted to keep them. You're expected to provide infinite patience while she makes no effort to be pleasant. Acceptance of her past. They provided nothing about her past because they were her past. They were creating the damage you're now expected to accept. They got her fresh, got her best, got her enthusiasm, then left her more damaged than when they found her. You're expected to accept all that damage. Never mention it. Never let it bother you. Never suggest her past affects the present. Never express that her history matters. If you have concerns about her past, you're insecure. Judgmental. Holding her past against her. Being unfair. Real men accept women's past without question. They created the damage without consequence. You're expected to accept the damage without complaint. Gratitude for scraps. They provided temporary attention and she gave them everything. They never expressed gratitude. They took what she offered and left when done. She was grateful they paid attention to her at all. Grateful for whatever time they gave. Grateful for breadcrumbs of affection. You're expected to be grateful she chose you, grateful she's willing to commit to you now, grateful she's giving you a chance even though you're not the men she actually wanted. You're supposed to feel lucky, fortunate, blessed that a woman with her past is willing to settle for you. They received her gratitude for minimal effort. You're expected to provide gratitude for receiving her leftovers. The specific comparisons that destroy marriages let me get even more specific about the asymmetry, because the devil is in the details. Sexual comparison them at 25, sex 4 to 5 times weekly. She initiates often, enthusiastic, adventurous, willing to try anything, eager to please, multiple positions, spontaneous encounters, morning sex, afternoon sex, can't wait to get home sex, sex that feels passionate, mutual. You at 38, sex once monthly if lucky. She never initiates. When it happens, missionary position, lights off, get it over with quickly. She's doing you a favor. She's not interested. She's not engaged. It's a chore she's completing. If you suggest trying anything different, she's offended. That's degrading. She's not that kind of woman. She doesn't do those things. Except she did do those things. With them. Enthusiastically. She just won't do them with you. Effort comparison them at 25. She maintains her appearance, works out regularly, stays in shape, dresses attractively, does her hair and makeup, puts effort into looking good for them. She's pleasant, agreeable, fun to be around, makes their time together enjoyable, doesn't create drama, keeps things light and positive. You at 38, she's gained 40 pounds. Stopped working out years ago, lives in sweatpants, hair in a bun, no makeup unless going out with friends. Zero effort into appearance. She's critical, complaining, difficult, creates drama over small things, makes time together stressful instead of enjoyable. They got her trying, you get her given up. Financial comparison them at 25, they paid for dates, maybe bought some gifts. That's it. She never asked for more. Never expected them to fund her lifestyle. She supported herself and expected nothing financially. You at 38, she expects you to pay for everything. The house, the cars, the vacations, the lifestyle, her comfort and security, her desires and demands. Your money is our money. Her money is her money. You fund the lifestyle. She enjoys it and complains it's not enough. They kept financial independence. You're expected to provide complete financial support. Attitude comparison them at 25, she was grateful for their attention, appreciative of time together, thankful for whatever they provided, made them feel valued and wanted. She told them they were amazing, made them feel desired, treated them like they were special, gave them the impression they mattered to her. You at 38, she takes everything for granted. Your provision, your commitment, your patience, your presence, nothing you do is appreciated, nothing you provide is enough. She criticizes constantly, points out what you're not doing, compares you unfavorably to others, makes you feel like you're failing despite giving everything. They got appreciation for minimal effort. You get criticism for maximum effort. Why this asymmetry exists? Here's the question that needs answering. Why does this asymmetry exist? Why do they get her best while you get her worst? Why is the exchange so profoundly unfair? They had what she actually wanted. The men who got her best had something she actually desired. Height, looks, status, excitement, danger, mystery. Whatever it was, she was genuinely attracted. She wasn't settling with them. She was pursuing them, competing for them, trying to keep them. So she gave her best because she wanted to keep what she was actually attracted to. You don't have what she actually wants. You have what she needs now that she can't get what she actually wants. You're the fallback, the acceptable option, the safe choice when exciting choices disappeared. She's not genuinely attracted to you. She's strategically committed to you. So she doesn't give her best. She gives what's required to keep you locked in. They represented desire. You represent necessity. Her biology drove her to them in her 20s. Her biology was driving her toward masculine traits that signal genetic fitness. Height, physical strength, confidence, dominance, risk-taking, status. These traits don't make good husbands necessarily, but they make attractive sexual partners. And her biology in her prime was optimized for attraction, not partnership. So she pursued these men, gave them everything, because biology was driving her behavior. By her late 30s, biology shifts. The attraction mechanisms quiet. The partnership mechanisms activate. She needs security, resources, stability, commitment, different drivers. You provide what her biology needs now, not what her biology wanted then. So the engagement is different. The enthusiasm is different. The investment is different. They got her biological prime driving genuine attraction. You get her biological decline driving strategic calculation. She didn't have to try with them in her 20s. Male attention was abundant. She had options. She had choices. She could lose one man and 3 more were waiting. So she didn't have to try hard to keep any particular man. If one left, another replaced him quickly. The abundance meant effort was minimal. She made effort because she enjoyed it, because the attraction made her want to, not because she had to. By her late 30s, options have contracted dramatically. The men she wants aren't available. The men available are men like you, men she wouldn't have considered before. She has to try harder now to get commitment. But the trying is strategic, not genuine. She's performing to secure you, and once secured, the performance ends. They got genuine effort from abundance. You get strategic performance from scarcity that ends once you're locked in. She resents having to settle somewhere in her psychology. She knows she's settled. She knows you're not who she actually wanted. You're who was available when who she wanted wasn't. This creates resentment, not necessarily conscious, but it's there, simmering beneath the surface. She resents that she couldn't keep the men she actually wanted. She resents that she's aging. She resents that biology is forcing her hand. She resents that she has to commit to someone she's not genuinely attracted to. And that resentment gets directed at you. You become the symbol of her settling. Every compromise she makes feels like evidence of her failure. They were her choice. You're her consolation. And she resents you for it. Real examples, the asymmetry in practice example 1, the sexual comparison early 20s with them. Sex was frequent, enthusiastic, adventurous. She was trying things, being spontaneous, initiating, making sex exciting and fun. They got the best version of her sexuality. Late 30s with you, once monthly duty sex. Missionary, lights off, quick. No enthusiasm, no variety, no initiation. When you suggest trying something different, she's offended. I'm not that kind of woman. But she was that kind of woman with them. She just isn't with you. The asymmetry, they got her sexual peak, enthusiasm, and variety freely. You get her sexual decline, reluctance, and rigid boundaries after committing everything. Example 2, the effort comparison early 20s with them, she maintained her body. Stayed fit, dressed well, put effort into appearance, made herself attractive. They got her at her physical best, maintained through genuine effort. Late 30 seconds with you, gained 35 pounds, stopped working out, lives in yoga pants. Minimal grooming. When you gently suggest working out together, she accuses you of being shallow, of not accepting her as she is. But she made that effort for them. She just won't make it for you. The asymmetry, they got her physical peak and maintained appearance. You get her physical decline and resistance to any effort. Example 3, the attitude comparison early 20s with them, she was pleasant, agreeable, fun, made their time together enjoyable, minimal drama, positive energy. They looked forward to seeing her because being around her felt good. Late 30s with you, she's critical, complaining, creating drama, making time together stressful. Nothing you do is right. Everything is a problem. You don't look forward to seeing her because being around her feels exhausting. She was capable of being pleasant. She just isn't with you. The asymmetry, they got pleasant companionship. You get difficult companionship despite providing far more. Example 4, the commitment comparison early 20s with them, they provided 0 commitment. Casual dating, sometimes not even exclusive. They could leave any time with 0 consequences, no promises, no obligations. And she accepted this. She continued investing in relationships that offered her nothing in terms of commitment. Late 30s with you, you're expected to commit completely. Marriage, legal binding, shared finances, lifetime promises. If you hesitate, she questions your commitment. If you want to take it slow, she creates urgency. The asymmetry, they gave nothing and got everything. You're expected to give everything to get what they got for nothing. Why men accept this, and shouldn't the question is, why do good men accept this asymmetry? Why do they commit to women who are clearly giving them an inferior version of what previous men received freely? He doesn't know the full truth. Most men don't know exactly what previous men received. She's not honest about her past. She minimizes. She lies by omission. She presents a version of her history that makes her look better. So he doesn't know that she gave other men far more for far less. He doesn't know the sexual history. Doesn't know the effort she made. Doesn't know what she was willing to do. If he knew the full truth, if he saw the clear asymmetry, many men would walk away. But she controls the information. And most men accept her version without investigation. He thinks it's normal. Society tells him this is normal. that women's sexual desire decreases with age, that wives aren't as sexual as girlfriends, that marriage means less sex, that he should be grateful she chose him. So he accepts the diminished version as just how things are, doesn't realize she was far more sexual with previous partners, thinks the problem is marriage, not her selective withholding. He's been conditioned to accept less and be grateful for it. He's afraid of being alone by his late 30s or 40s. He might be isolated, might have limited options, might doubt he'll find someone else, might fear being alone. So he accepts a bad deal because he thinks it's the only deal available. Better to have a woman who gives minimal effort than no woman at all. This fear makes him accept asymmetry he should reject. He loves her despite everything. He might genuinely love her, might hope things will improve, might believe she'll eventually give him what she gave others, might think his love will change her. So he commits despite the asymmetry, despite receiving less, despite knowing somewhere that this isn't right. Love makes men accept situations their logic would reject. He doesn't value himself enough. This is the core issue. He doesn't believe he deserves better, doesn't believe he's worth the effort she gave previous men, doesn't value himself enough to require reciprocity. So he accepts scraps, accepts being settled for, accepts getting the worst version while previous men got the best. Low self-value makes men tolerate asymmetry that self-respecting men would walk away from. What this asymmetry creates, this asymmetry doesn't just create frustration. It creates specific, predictable outcomes that destroy the marriage. His resentment grows, he knows he's getting less. Even if he doesn't know the full extent, he feels it. Feels that she's not really into him, that she's not trying, that he's getting a worse version than someone got. This creates resentment that builds silently. Every sexual rejection while knowing she was enthusiastic with others, every criticism while providing more than others provided, every lack of effort while others got her best. The resentment accumulates quietly, invisibly. Until one day he's done, she loses all respect, she knows she settled, knows he's not who she actually wanted, knows he accepted a terrible deal. This makes her lose respect for him. A man who accepts being settled for, who accepts inferior treatment, who accepts getting her worst while others got her best, that man gets no respect. His acceptance of the asymmetry proves his low value in her eyes. And you cannot maintain attraction to someone you don't respect. The bedroom dies completely. It starts diminished. Once monthly, obligatory. But over time, it dies completely. She has no genuine desire for him. The sex was always strategic, not authentic. Once she has commitment and security, even the strategic sex stops. The marriage becomes completely sexless, and he's trapped, legally bound to someone who won't touch him, getting nothing that previous men got freely. The marriage becomes transaction. The relationship is revealed as what it always was. Transaction, not partnership, not love. Transaction. He provides resources, commitment, stability, security. She provides minimal companionship and constant criticism. Both are getting exactly what the transaction specified, nothing more. The love dies because there was never love. There was need on her part and hope on his. Neither sustains. What needs to change for men? Know what you're worth. You deserve someone who chooses you because they want you, not because you're what's left, not because their options disappeared, because they're genuinely attracted to you. You deserve someone who gives you their best, not their leftovers, not the diminished version, their best effort, enthusiasm, and investment. If you're getting less than previous men got while providing more, that's not a relationship. That's exploitation. Walk away. You're worth more than someone's consolation prize. Investigate her past. You have the right to know what you're getting into, what her relationship history is, what her sexual history is, what previous men received. She'll resist. She'll call you insecure. She'll say the past doesn't matter. That's manipulation. The past matters. It's the best predictor of the future. Her behavior with previous men predicts her behavior with you. If she won't be honest about her past, if she's defensive and evasive, that tells you everything. She's hiding something that would make you reconsider, investigate, know the truth. Make informed decisions. Require reciprocity if you're providing commitment. Require genuine enthusiasm and effort in return. If you're providing resources, require appreciation and respect. If you're providing patience, require pleasantness and cooperation. Don't accept one-sided arrangements. Don't provide everything while receiving nothing. Don't settle for scraps while others got feasts. Require reciprocity. And if she can't or won't provide it, she doesn't actually want you. She needs you. There's a difference. Consider younger women. If most women your age are offering this terrible asymmetry, consider younger women who haven't accumulated the damage in history. A 35-year-old man dating a 26-year-old woman gets a completely different dynamic. She hasn't cycled through dozens of partners, hasn't accumulated the damage, hasn't given her best to men who didn't commit. You're more likely to get genuine attraction, enthusiasm, and effort. More likely to be chosen rather than settled for. This requires you to have value, but it's worth building that value to access better options. For women, stop expecting gratitude for leftovers. If you gave your best years, your physical peak, your sexual enthusiasm, your genuine effort to men who didn't commit, you cannot expect a good man to be grateful for getting your worst while providing his best. You destroyed your own value. You gave away what should have been saved for a husband. You traded your prime years for excitement that led nowhere. Now you're facing the consequences. Good men see the asymmetry. They see they're getting a worse deal than previous men got. They resent it. If you want a good man to commit, you need to give him what you gave previous men. Enthusiasm, effort, genuine attraction, not strategic calculation and duty sex. But most women who squandered their best years cannot do this. The damage is permanent, the capacity is gone. That's the harsh reality. And blaming men for noticing won't change it. Final thoughts. The asymmetry in modern dating is profound and destructive. Women give their best years, their enthusiasm, their physical peak, their sexual freedom to men who never commit. Then expect good men to be grateful for getting their worst, while providing far more. This isn't partnership. This is exploitation. And good men are waking up to it. The men who got her best provided minimal commitment and could leave freely. You're expected to provide total commitment and will be destroyed if you leave. The men who got her best received frequent, enthusiastic intimacy. You get monthly duty sex or less. The men who got her best got her effort and maintained appearance. You get her given up on herself. The men who got her best got her pleasant and agreeable. You get her critical and difficult. This asymmetry is not sustainable. Men are noticing. Men are walking away. Men are refusing to accept terrible deals while being told to be grateful. You deserve someone who gives you their best, not their leftovers, not the damaged version, not the strategic performance that ends after commitment. You deserve genuine attraction, genuine enthusiasm, genuine effort. If you're not getting it, you're being used. Don't accept being someone's consolation prize. Don't commit to someone who gave better to men who gave less. Don't be grateful for scraps while others got feasts. You're worth more. Believe it. Require it. Walk away from anything less. Drop a comment. Men, are you getting leftovers while previous men got her best? Did you discover this after committing? Subscribe for the truths about modern dating that explain why good men are walking away.